Well, good morning. My name's Janelle. I garden in zone 5B with one knee along Lake Michigan. And today what I'm going to show you is trimming onions. Yesterday was the first day that I gave them a real dilute fertilizer water, and I water from underneath. These seed trays actually, by the way, are kind of cool because as your roots develop, you can see how they do in here. Now, these are so young yet, you know, you're not going to see that. But I just kind of wanted to show you some of these plants are very young. There's a second seeding in here because I had a lot of misfires with the old seed. But today, anything that's around 2 inches or higher, I'm going to snip off. And what that does is that kind of focuses the energy back down to the roots and then helps encourage second sets of leaves. Now I'll show you here on this tray. You can see on this plant here, there's a second set of leaves, this one here, this one here. So they're all maturing at a really nice rate, but I do want to give them a little bit of a haircut. So I got a little bowl here. I'm gonna just keep the little tips for a little bit of a garnish. And all I'm gonna do is this, pretty simple. For those of you who don't know, when you plant your onions outside, they like a lot of sun. I can't remember if it's 8 or 10 hours per day that they like. So you wanna plant them in probably your sunniest location in the yard. Last year where they were, I'm going to be planting tomatoes, and this year they're going to be going directly in the front of the house, which faces south. I'm kind of rotating my crops just to kind of keep the soil healthy. So this is going to be kind of quick today, just because I don't have a lot of onion sprouting. Last year, like I said, I planted 70 onions, and that carried me through most of the winter. I have 2 left downstairs. And you can see this is like really all I'm snipping off, something that little, just sticking it in the jar, in the dish. I woke up and it was -2, but it is warmed up to 0 now, and I think our negative days are behind us, or our nights rather. I think it'll be back up to single digits overnight, which is kind of nice. When it gets to real cold, I go outside and I run my vehicles for about 15-20 minutes every 4 or 5 hours, just so that they'll start if I all of a sudden need to get out of here real fast. I do live by a couple nuclear plants, so you never know when you got a jam. I'm almost done here already. Then I'm going to also kind of give you a little update on the onions that I had transplanted. I think that was about a week ago. And I'll show you how those are. Some of these real tall ones, they have the onion seeds still attached to it. If I find one, I'll show you. I noticed it over here, but not so much over here. And I guess if you trim these and just let them fall in the soil, that would be okay, but you might have some mold or something you develop too. My house isn't real humid. I think I saw on my atomic clock that it was at a 19% humidity. So now I just kind of got all my onions trimmed down to about like that. This row here is sweet Spanish Utah yellow, and it takes 7 to 14 days to germinate. These are Ailsa Craig, and then these are the sweet white Spanish. These 2 rows here are from seed last year, and this is new seed. So you can see there's quite a few misfires here. This variety did really well, and I kind of like the white onions best for things like salsa and spaghetti sauce. So right here, this is all I really got trimmed off. It's not much, but it'll be enough for a garnish. And this also gives me the opportunity to rotate my tray so that the plants start to go towards the light this way. Now, this little tray here, these are the onions that I had transplanted, I want to say about a week ago. And you can see that they're kind of boosting up, and you can kind of see the onion seeds themselves on the very tippy top. That's normal, and they'll just fall off. I suppose you could try to pick them off, but you would risk tugging at the roots and maybe disconnecting the plant from the root system when they're this young. So there's that. And then the cups that they came out of, look at how much more they've grown. So this is the Spanish white onion. So I'm going to have all these extra onions here. I don't know what I'm really going to do with them. I'm going to have to maybe talk to my neighbors and see if they want onions to plant in the ground. And then let's see here. This I think is the Utah yellow. Yeah, Utah yellows. Again, this is the variety that I had on my seed tray here that wasn't really growing much. And this is the last of the seed packet. And I put the last of the seed packet in this one too, because next year I'm not going to want to screw around with all these misfires. There's a lot of seeds that I put in here. It was about equal amount. And you can see that this variety here grew a lot nicer than this variety. In my experience, my onion seeds and my carrot seeds don't carry over well from year to year, meaning that last year's seeds have a lower germination rate. And with this Utah yellow variety, this kind of proves the point. This one here is a little bit of a surprise. But anyway, and then I also have the Ilsa Craig, and I just wanted to give that a try also. So I'm gonna have a lot of onions here to share with my neighbors. That is pretty much it for the onion update. Excuse me. The house is so dry, I get a dry cough. And I just kind of wanted to show you step by step to kind of take the intimidation out of maybe any gardening. I always tried to grow my onions in the house. Now last year was my first successful year, but I started them earlier and I fertilized in the house. Now yesterday they got their first round of fertilizer. I'll probably not fertilize again for another 10 days or so. Now, I just use regular potting soil, and you could use seed starting mix, and there are nutrients in seed starting mix, but eventually those will deplete, and then you're gonna have to supplement it with something else. Excuse me. So I just use potting soil, that doesn't really have any nutrients. With that, I think I'm gonna end this video. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the onion progress. I don't have anything scheduled to seed anytime soon. I might have some cold stratification things that I have in the refrigerator that I can maybe put into seed trays. But the bulk of my seeding I have scheduled for around March 20th, which is about a month away. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was a little informative, and like I said, we're gonna go step by step on the gardening process. We're gonna go from seed to soil to sink to shelf and show you what things you could possibly do. Start small scale so you don't get overwhelmed and see how it goes, and then each year you can expand a little more and a little more. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a really great day. Till next time, bye.